back to the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. I'm your host, Yvette Wanzuu. How are you? How have you been? How has life been treating you? It's been treating you good? Tough times? Sending you hugs and love nonetheless. This is a safe space that I have created for us to be able to talk about all things life, and I draw from my own personal life experiences, some of the good, the bad, and some of the very laughable ones. This is me just giving you a tiny little sneak peek of what goes on in my head and in my heart, if you will. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy listening. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the podcast. It has been a hot minute and I'm so happy to be back. I have been dying, honestly. Over the last couple of days, I've just been dying to record. It's just that the kind of fatigue I experience at night, I don't even know. At this point, naona ni kama ni uzee tu. Because me, I'm a night owl. I like doing everything at night. I'm most creative at night. I think better at night. I get brilliant ideas at night, especially kwanza when I'm in the shower. The ideas just really come flowing. But of late, I've just been experiencing a certain kind of fatigue that is not normal. So I have been pushing and pushing and pushing. But today, I said, you know what? I have to come through. I have to record. I have to put down my thoughts. How have you guys been? How have you been doing? See, October has just gone by like that, and now it's November, and then before you know it, it's December, and 2023 is a wrap. And now we're looking forward to 2024. How have the last couple of weeks been for you? Have you been good? Have you been struggling? What's going on with you? I'd love to know. You can have a conversation with me in the DMs, Working with Wanzoo podcast on Instagram. You can write me an email at tewanzu@gmail.com. And how rude of me to start this entire conversation. Now I'm 1 minute and 23 seconds in, Bila saying my name. My good name is Wanzuu. I'm your host for the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. Here we talk about all things life. We don't no pressure, no bad vibes. You come with all your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the very laughable ones. And we just do that. We laugh and we react to all of them. But most importantly, we learn, and learn. I, of course, talk about a lot of my own life experiences and my own opinions and views based on my own personal preferences and life experiences as well. I can only speak from my own experience as a 30-year-old mother of one, just a babe trying to make it in this Nairobi. What has happened? Well, I've been away. Of course, I've not been living in limbo, so I know fuel prices have gone up even higher. Couples are busy out here separating left, right, and center. What's going on? Is there a pandemic for breakups? Because where ikifika point baka Will Smith na Jada Pinkett wanaachana. Is there a hope? Is there hope? Mm-mm. The hopeless romantic. Hara Jerry. The hopeless romantic that I am is really struggling, to be honest. It's really struggling. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I have learned to take couple fights and couple separations with a pinch of salt. Because if there are two people that you never want to get in their business and feel like you know their business more than they do, is two people who at one point loved each other and chose to be in a relationship. They'll be out here arguing, ironing their dirty laundry in public. Tomorrow you see them together and you are busy there advising the chick or the dude or the chick or the other chick in this case, because nowadays everyone can see anyone. And you'll be here advising the other party. You're talking about, oh, maybe you need to leave them, you need to walk away, you don't deserve to be treated like that. And they listen to you and then they go and do the entire opposite. It's when you think people have never, it's when they go nevering like never before. So I've learned to take, couple fights and all those things with a pinch of salt. And something that I was discussing with someone a while back, and I'll share with you guys also on here, is who these people who've been together for a while. Like it could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 30. Heck, the way even our grandmothers used to be married for like 40 years, or even our own parents. Do you think that relationships that last that long don't have their own fair share of drama? Trust me, at some point in that relationship, somebody left and went to stay somewhere else to clear their head. At some point in that relationship, I don't know, somebody cheated. Unfortunately, at some point in that relationship, things were so bad. Maybe they went quiet on each other for years or for months. And it's when two people come together, it's their commitment towards each other. It's them being intentional about saying, I know life is going to life, because life really does happen, but I am committed to being with this person, and the other person is committed to being with me. So the storms will come and it will be turbulent AF, but we are committing and choosing to go through the turbulence and just be there with each other. So if you're going through matters of the heart, thinking at oh, it's going to be all rosy and it's going to be cute all the time, honey, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. You see the way your life is not always rosy and smooth sailing. Relationships are the same way. And the only thing is that in life, when things are not rosy or smooth sailing, you go through it alone. But when you commit to someone, then now you have a partner and you people are doing life together. So you can imagine how things can get. But that's not to say that love it doesn't exist. Love is there. True love is beautiful, but true love is real, it's raw, and life stays happening. Life stays happening. So when you're out here seeing all these couples doing the most in public and airing their business and telling us everything that we have no business knowing, don't judge. Don't judge. First of all, these are people who are going through life experiences and struggles that everybody goes through. It's just that they're going through it in the public eye, and so everyone can be able to see what's going on. Now some of us are, some people have been clowning. It's just that you clown in private and you clown outside from the away from the public eye. So don't be out here judging. Don't be out here hating. Listen. Of course, sometimes it's a bit entertaining. So you want to listen and give your 2 cents, but take people's relationships with a pinch of salt. And if you're the one here and your relationship is going through it, and like I don't know what it could be, please know that matters of the heart are not for collective decisions. Like you can't choose a collective to make decisions for you when it comes to matters of the heart. You know why you got with that person. You know why it's working for you. You know why it's not working for you. Make the choice, Sunny. Ours is just to be here and to encourage you, even as you go through the transition. With that being said, if you're in a position where you're experiencing love in its entirety, with all its goodness, I celebrate with you, sending you love and a high five. And if you're in a season where love is really showing you its nyash, it's really giving you a hard time. Like you're out here just being handed lemons left, right, and center, and you're struggling with making lemonade, I'm sending you hugs and love, and I'm telling you, this too shall pass, because it does pass. It does pass. So today I want us to talk about something really brief. I want to keep it short and sweet. I just got back into it. I think you can just feel the way I'm charged. I have energy. I have energy. I have my good vibes. Ni, 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 ni. First of all, thank you so much for the good vibes that people have been sending me. I have an audience. There's someone just giggling up behind me. But anyway, we move. Um, Thank you so much for all the love and the concern that people have been, just sharing, asking me, Wanzuu, ulienda wapi? Okay, now let me not lie. It's like one or two people, but regardless, I appreciate. Kuna wenye hata hawaku notice I took a break. So for those of you who didn't know, I took a break in October just to gather my head and clear my head. I was a bit overwhelmed. Life was really lifing. Where nilikuwa kwa mawimbi, guys. Nilikuwa napigwa kwa I was in the desert, and then I was getting random sandstorms and all those desert storms, and I was just in a season I needed to breathe. And so I took a breath. I took a break and a breather, and I decided to just go gather myself, deal with whatever I need to deal with, and then come back and just get back into it. Honestly, I really love this platform. I love that we get to talk. I love that we get to connect. I love that we get to share, and more so, I really love it when you people resonate with what it is that I have to share. So today I want us to talk about something. Peace is expensive. Peace is costly. Peace doesn't come at it comes at a cost. Yeah. So put it however you want, but I would say peace is expensive. So there are a number of things that have brought me, have brought this realization for me. First of all, who thought it would be so hard to learn to sit by yourself with yourself, to learn to give yourself all these things that you normally so willingly give others and never quite get around to giving them to yourself, because you use every other interaction in your life as an excuse to face that which you need to face, which is yourself. That's something that has happened to me as well. And I feel like also the culture that we're living in now is really teaches us to discard of our troubles. It's like at the slightest inconvenience, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a business interaction. It's just like at the slightest inconvenience, you discard it. And then you're like, me, I'm choosing my peace. I choose peace. We all know those slogans that we use: choose peace, choose joy, I pick my struggles. Nini, nini. Because I mean, that's a very famous one for me. I like to pick my struggles. I like to say that a lot, which is true. Because sometimes I feel like life hands you struggles. Now you don't want to go and pick the ones that you can pick. You just want to keep suffering and just keep having a hard time. It's off brand. It's off brand, Annie. Enjoy, enjoy. When you can enjoy, enjoy. When you can pick your struggles, excuse me, pick your struggles. So why do I say peace is costly? I feel like sometimes um, people are faced with certain difficult decisions just to be able to be in a position where they're peaceful. And in 2023, with all the chaos that's happening, Sijui, Palestine, and Israel, I don't know, all these wars going on. First of all, it was this issue with Russia that made fuel prices skyrocket. The rate of inflation is insane. It's very hard to find yourself, you're at a point where you're feeling peaceful. I mean, I've been in rooms, I've been talking to people, I've been having conversations, and every time you talk to someone and you're just like, you give them a genuine how are you? Someone has a genuine thing that they're struggling with. And that's not to say some struggles are not genuine. You know, it's just that some struggles you take with a pinch of salt. Because sometimes we also just like to put ourselves in situations where we're struggling. But just generally, yeah, in total, people are in a season where they're really trying to survive, and it's in all aspects of life. You're trying to survive, you're trying to create a balance, you're trying to keep afloat, and so life can be overwhelming. And so, one thing that you need, that you genuinely really need, so that you function and just tackle life as it comes, is peace, right? Now, there's peace that God gives, and that's peace that surpasses all human understanding. And I want us to understand something when you talk about peace. Peace is not the absence of struggle, peace is not the absence of pain. Peace is most definitely not the absence of discomfort or anything that gives you, lack of ease. Peace is finding a calm space within yourself, even when you're going through a storm or even when you're going through a difficult time. um, Peace is also that still small voice that whispers things to you in the midst of sometimes confusion, in the midst of sometimes pain, or sometimes it could be in the midst of, a state where you feel like you need to get certain things done, but you're anxious and you're confused, or you're just in a state where you're not, your mind is not, you're not cruising nicely, maybe, if I can put it like that. um, and so there's peace in different aspects of our life. So I want to break it down into three. I want to break it down into three aspects, right? I want to talk about religion or faith or spirituality, whatever it is that you're comfortable calling it. I want to talk about peace in terms of work and career. And then I want to talk about peace in terms of family. And family, of course, will cover whether you have a partner or not, will cover your siblings, and then it will also cover parenting, because some of us are parents, y'all. Some of us have kids. Yeah. And so let's talk about the first one: peace when it comes to spirituality or your faith. I am a Christian. I identify as a Christian. Um, I yeah, that's my identity. I identify as a Christian. I love the Lord, and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Yes, He is. I got saved a very long time ago, and honestly, I've always been in this yo-yoing nini feeling, or feeling like sometimes you go and you just do funny things and you feel like salvation has left you, but the truth is it never leaves you. Like, God never walks away from us. It's us who sometimes distance ourselves, but He's always open to receiving you and welcoming you back into His presence, and for you to just to be able to do life with Him. And I personally feel like life can be a lot to walk through alone. And so I feel like being aware that there's a higher power than you. First of all, helps you understand that there's a supernatural being that is looking out for you, that cares for you. And then it also gives you a certain level of humility, because you know that you're not indispensable, right? You know that there's a higher power than you. And I feel like that grounds you. It makes you very respectful, and it makes you move with a certain kind of respect, yeah, or fear in quotes. Like you're not just out here feeling like you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, to whoever you want, and there are no repercussions. Yeah, so peace, how do I find peace in spirituality? For me, I lean on God's promises, right? There are times when I feel like it's a bit hard to be able to read the Bible. There are times when I feel I'm struggling to pray, I'm struggling to speak to God. And imagine, honestly, on the days when I'm in a season where I need a certain type of guidance, or I'm just going through a hard season, I turn prayer into conversation, and I tell God truly, in the most raw form that I can, what it is that I want to communicate. And sometimes it can be hard, yo. Sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes you're in the thick of things that you don't even feel like bearing your heart. But I've found a lot of solace in the Word of God. When I read the Bible, I get references, I get stories of people who have faced certain kinds of difficulties, and God has come through for them in mighty ways. There's a post that I keep seeing on Instagram, and it's normally posted by people, and it's posted in different ways. And that particular quote normally shows someone who's saying, God, I'm done. Like, I've reached the end. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. You know that I'm done that comes from the heart, like comes from the pit of your stomach. When you just say, I'm done, and God is like, good, now I can start. So doesn't it gives me so much joy and comfort to know that those moments where I feel like I have reached the end, that's when God is like, okay, cool. Now you can surrender. Now I can take it from. Now I can start. Now I can show you that I truly am God. Like, I've seen situations where I have been in a space where I'm just feeling like, okay, now I'm going to need nothing short of a miracle. And something just gives, something that just gives. Like, there are times when I have genuinely seen proof that God exists, and I'm incredibly blessed and just happy to be God's child. And so I find peace in that. Sometimes it's hard, but I find peace in God's promises. I find peace in God's word, and most of all, I find peace in past victories, because si kila siku tuna struggle. Sometimes we're really winning. Sometimes we're really winning in Christ. The second thing that I want to talk about is peace in career. Now, I had in a very harsh reality that I've had to come to terms with is work, career, the corporate sector is not your mother's backyard. Okay. Um, I've always moved around life with a very emotional approach, and that's okay, because it's good to be in touch with your emotions and be aware of what it is that ticks you the right way and what it is that ticks you the wrong way. But sometimes you just need to move with life through life from a very tactical manner, right? There are all manner of people in the workplace, and everybody's trying to get ahead. Everybody's trying to make more money. Everybody's just trying to do what they need to do and do it well to the best of their ability. In some cases, some people are also just genuinely really trying to get noticed, and you and your mediocrity just sitting there thinking, oh, we're all in the same. No, mm-mm. And so, how I find peace in the workspace, first of all, is to identify what it is that I'm good at. And I just want to say that as far as work and career is concerned, guys, I am preaching to you as I preach to myself, because if there's a struggle I have had, is this one. First of all, I identify what my roles and responsibilities are, and then I do them to the best of my ability. That means you can avoid questions that get you, undone tasks that can get you in trouble. Your superior knows that you're aware of your job description and you're doing it how you need to do it. And then the other thing is I draw boundaries. So there are people who sometimes, there are all manner of people that we meet in the workplace. Some people just talk reckless. Some people are just so conniving. Some people are mean, because we all come from different backgrounds. Some people are such a darling. Some people are such sweethearts. They're so good to hang around, to be around. Um, some people act like they are, they have your best interest at heart, but they don't. Like everybody's pushing their own agenda. And so for me, it's very clear so that I'm at peace when I'm at work to draw my boundaries and be very clear about what my boundaries are. I think the first thing that I would say that I'm very clear about is my colleagues they're not my friends, they're just my colleagues. I am close to some of them because when you spend a huge chunk of your day with people, you talk, you connect, you problem solve together, there's a tendency of familiarity and closeness that you form. And that's okay, that's all right. But at the end of the day, it's very clear to draw the boundary and be aware of the fact that these are my colleagues, we're working together, we have a common goal, which is to take the company or whatever it is that we're working for to the next level and even so greater heights, expand even for ourselves. But the main thing that brings us together is work. And so I never like to lose sight of that. And there have been moments where I've lost sight of that and gotten very intertwined with colleagues. But nowadays, I'm learning as I get older, just for the peace, to get peace of mind, to be very clear about what our interactions are and to draw very clear boundaries. And then we go on to the third one, which is family. And family is a tricky one, because when we're talking about family, we're talking about your upbringing, we're talking about your experiences growing up. Some people, in fact, I don't know what the statistics are, but I'll tell you this for a fact, guys. People out here are hurting. The number of people walking around out here bearing their childhood trauma, and a huge percentage of those people don't even know that that's what it is that they are carrying. And so sometimes you see people act in a certain way, and you just want to ask, you just, you take a moment and just look at this person and you're just like, what is wrong with you? But imagine if we all took a step back and just assessed our childhood and our upbringing, we would really see that that constitutes a huge part of who we become and end up being. How we relate to people, how we view ourselves, how we view other people, how we interact with other people, how we have formed certain habits, what informs certain decisions. It's all based and circled around your experiences as a child. And so when you're a grown up, it is upon you to identify certain traits of your upbringing that you're not happy about or happy with and change. And then the ones that you're happy with or happy about, amplify. And then even as you interact with people, call out the BS in your family, and be an agent of change. Don't be out here calling out people's shortcomings and you're just out here adding to the toxicity. Sometimes you might even need to remove yourself, just take a step back, and love family from a distance. Sometimes you might be needed to draw certain boundaries, and it's not always like drawing boundaries is never received well. Most of the time, it's never received well. Now you can imagine someone you are talking to all the time, and you just feel like they're disrespecting you, and that person is family, and then you take a step back and not communicate with them as often or hang around with them as often. Of course, if it's something that they're used to, they wouldn't take it easy or lying down. They wouldn't take it well. Chances are you might be met with a bit of hostility and this and that. And so family dynamics can be very tricky. But you only get this one life. We're not rehearsing until we'll come back tomorrow and now live properly. There's no trial run, there's no free trial. Is this life? It's now or never. We do it now, now, now. And so sometimes when you're in a space where, and this is quite unfortunate, where your family is toxic, or there's just something about your family that's not contributing to your peace, yeah, love these people from a distance. Identify what it is or who it is, and then act accordingly. Act accordingly. And then, as far as parenting is concerned, now the dynamics of parenting are so wide. If we start unpacking them, I think we could be here the whole night. But this is what I have to say. You're the best parent to your child when you're at your best, when you take care of yourself. You've eaten, you're trying your best to take care of the body that God has given you, and you're trying the best that you can to nourish your mind, heart, and body. And so when all those things are nourished and your whatever equilibrium looks like for you, and you find your equilibrium or your middle point where you feel like, okay, I'm okay, that's when you can be the best parent that you can be to your child. And parenting is a job that involves a lot of giving and very little receiving, especially when your children are young. I had someone say today, and it made so much sense to me, that children are so egotistical. But I want to sleep, but I'm hungry, but I want to sit, but I'm bored, but I'm this, but I'm that. And that's a child. And as much as you're training them and you're trying to, rebuke them when they are wrong and just do right by them or just give the necessary guidance as a parent, at the end of the day, you can't be the best parent that you can be if you're not the best version of yourself, or if you're not functioning at a point or in a space where you're your best self. So how to find peace in parenting is just to find peace within yourself first, and then you'll show up as the best version of yourself. Now, the last segment, when we talk about family, you could be a single parent like me and you're in a relationship, or you've been in a number of relationships, or you could be married and you have a lifetime partner. Let me tell you, relationships are not for the faint of heart. They will show you dust. They will show you dust. But what I found works for me, is how I find peace in my relationship is by communicating. And communicating, don't get me wrong, communicating sometimes can come in form of blaming the other person. So you never want to communicate your frustrations by going like, you did this, and you normally do this, and you normally do this. You can always say, when you do this, I feel ABCD. Yeah. And so communicating how it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're thinking, in a calm but in a very constructive way. Sometimes I found that one of the best ways I resolve conflict in relationships is by noting down my thoughts. Sometimes you go into, you're trying to solve a certain conflict that two people had, but you're just rambling thoughts, rambling what you feel, what you said, what you did. How about sometimes you just take some time? You see the way you take those work presentations seriously and you write things down and you even make a slideshow. Okay, now I'm not saying you go out and make a slideshow, but how about you note down all the things that you feel might have contributed to a certain conflict that you're having in your relationship, and how it is that you can solve it? And you'll be surprised how much peace you experience. The last thing I want to acknowledge that people rarely do is how is the aftermath that comes with relentlessly pursuing your peace. And that aftermath could be as a result of losing people in your life. It could be as a result of distancing yourself with people. And if these are people that you genuinely care about and that you're used to, it's not easy. That transition is not easy. Finding peace for yourself can mean letting go of a job. It can mean letting go of a certain thing that gives you income but does not give you peace. And what is life if you can't live a life of peace? And so acknowledging the loss of that as well. It could also be the loss of a romantic partner. Some relationships you're in and they don't give you peace. It's just problems. Always. It's just, I don't know who has cheated. I don't know who was seen where. I don't know what message was sent. And sometimes, you evaluate and reevaluate and you decide, you know what? If I'm going to be at a point where I feel peaceful, I need to walk away from this individual. And so, peace, finding your peace and just maintaining your peace comes with a certain degree of loss. It also comes with a certain degree of loneliness, because sometimes people don't like it when you're very set on your ways and you take care of yourself and you make certain boundaries. Oftentimes, sometimes it's not received well. But like I said before, it's not a rehearsal. We're not doing it on Monday and then now we can come back and do it well the rest of the week and then again. It's just this one life. And once a day is gone, you don't get that day back. And life is fleeting, but at the same time, life really happens. And so I hope you come to a point in your life where, whether you're in a season where you're going through numerous storms or going through trying times, or you're in a season where you're experiencing a lot of joy and a lot of good vibes, I hope you find peace. I hope you find peace within yourself. I hope when you're sitting in your own company and just chilling, I hope you genuinely have peace, peace that surpasses all human understanding, peace that is revolving around you, that surrounds you, and peace that oozes out even to the people that are around you and the people that you interact with. Choose peace today. A single step in the right direction is always progress. I don't know what you need to do, but you know what you need to do so that you find yourself in a space where you're peaceful and you're happy. Sending you love and hugs and good vibes nonetheless. I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's some of the things that we discussed on today's episode that you really resonated with? Perhaps you even have a similar story or something that really tickled you. I would love to get your feedback. You can find me on Instagram at the Walking with Wanzuu podcast. You can also find me on Gmail. You can write me an email, tewanzuu@gmail.com. Better yet, you can leave a note if you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform and let me know whatever spoke to you during this particular episode. Life is too hard to go through it alone. Let's just do life together. Amma, until next time, bye-bye.